Hello there, my dear friends and fellas. How are you all doing? I hope you are doing fantastic. It's me, Werty, and today we are gonna actually answer a question. So, yesterday, or on the 1st of February 2022, Tick History has uploaded a video titled something like Socialists Aren't Stupid. Something like that. And towards the end of the video, he had given an analogy of his situation, his position in regards to the socialists. He had used the story of the Garden of Eden as an analogy for being red pilled, or in other words, becoming ex socialists, abandoning the socialist cause and trying to persuade socialists in order to not follow those ways anymore. Now, in case you don't know what is the story of the Garden of Eden, or story of heaven, it is part of the story of creation, happening on the sixth day of creation in the book of Genesis. So, the story goes as follows. God creates Adam and Eve, they are living in the Garden of Eden, and God is giving them one simple rule to follow. Don't eat from the fruit of knowledge, or you'll die. Essentially, this is what is said. A snake, in the Christian theology, it's interpreted as a serpent. However, in the Hebrew Bible, it is an actual snake. Is telling first Adam, but he doesn't bite it. Pun fully intended. So he tries to persuade Eve to eat from the fruit of knowledge, and his persuasion is not only you won't die from eating that fruit, but you will become godlike. You will be smarter. Because it's the fruit of knowledge, after all, Eventually, they eat from the fruit of knowledge. They open their eyes. Long story short, they are kicked out of the Garden of Eden. And essentially, we all suffer from these consequences. The world is bad. How lovely. Now, Tick tried to use that analogy in order to explain that the fruit of knowledge is as simple as it is the knowledge. And the socialist being Adam and Eve, and he is the role of the snake. And then he went into a debacle. Why would he actually try to persuade them if they would open their eyes and would see the word for it, what it actually is? Here's the thing, though, and here's where I come into play. It's not very good analogy because two things. First, the story as a whole tries to explain why the world is bad as we perceive it. Why is the world the way it is? This story is describing the original sin, that you had one rule to follow and you broke it. Now, in that story, when Adam and Eve opened their eyes, they see the world the exact same way as it was before they ate from the fruit of knowledge. The only difference is, and it's written actually in the text right afterwards, the first thing that they understand is shame, because they realize they are naked. And when they were kicked out, again, it was exactly the same, just with less trees around. And then God told them, now, because you ate from that fruit that I told you not to, I'm gonna punish you. So it's not really working out, because the only reality there was in their situation was they were naked. That's it. So saying that here it's actually a good analogy for being red-pilled is not that good. Now, I have a different suggestion. The story of the flood. Now, to recap for those who don't know the story of the flood, 10 generations after Adam and Eve, there's a guy named Noah. His generation is full of wicked people, and God wants to destroy Earth because the people had sinned terribly. The land is full of wickedness. God don't want any of this. He wants to destroy everything and create everything from scratch. He talks to Noah, the only righteous man of his generation, and tells him, I'm gonna destroy the world. Build an ark, gather yourself and your family, at least 8 people, gather the animals, and the list that I tell you which animal, which and stuff like that, also implied gather enough food for sustain all of you for 1 year. You're gonna sit in that ark up until I'm done destroying the world, and from you and the animals that you gather with you, the world will be repopulated. Noah starts to build in the ark. It takes him more than 100 years. I don't remember if it's 120 years or 500 years, but it takes him a long time to build the ark. During that time, people ask him, "Why are you building the ark?" And he's trying to tell them. Long story short, the flood is occurring the first 40 days. Rains and water from above and below rising, causing the ark to actually lift up from its place. Eventually, the ark rests on Ararat mountains, a mountain range in modern-day Turkey, on the border between Turkey and Syria. Everybody goes out. Noah is sacrificing a lamb to thank God for saving him. Then the rainbow is allegedly created to signal that there is gonna be no flood because God has some regrets about his decisions. This is how the story is describing it. Then later, Noah has a winery and he gets drunk, and the story gets very, very weird there. We are gonna stop here. So, why is this story, the story of the ark, is a good analogy here? It's not the whole story. It's more of the main section of building the ark. Why? In this analogy, the knowledge of don't be socialists in this case, is the knowledge of God. There's gonna be flood. The people around Noah are the socialists. Noah is the chosen one, or the enlightened, or the red-pilled, however you want to call it, or Tick in this instance. He's trying to do his best to warn the other people that don't be that way, live your wicked ways. But they don't believe him. They call him names. They say that he is insane, especially building the ark in the middle of the city, far away from water. One of the commentators on the story of the ark is also mentioning that the ark was built twice, because the first time around it was built in the city center, and the mob destroyed it. So afterwards, Noah moved it to his backyard and rebuilt it there. So yeah, the story of the ark makes much more sense here in that analogy. Also, in that way, you don't really have that moral obligation of deceiving, because you are not deceiving anybody. Actually, you are trying to warn them. And they believe you are insane or you are out of your mind. And it also fits with what Dick is feeling like, that he has nobody to talk to. Because what he tries to do, overwhelm them with knowledge, doesn't work. They decide not to believe it, mainly because they don't see it for what it is. They don't see it as truth. They see it as deceit. Now, whether or not it is true or not, I will leave it up to you to decide. So yeah, basically this is what I have for today. It's all over the place. I hope it was clear enough. I actually tried to type it when I saw the video the first time on the day it was uploaded, and then I realized it's gonna be too long. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, the link for Tick's video will be in the description. I encourage you to watch it. It doesn't matter if you are a socialist or anti-socialist or ex-socialist or want to become one. It is a very good way to see how socialists view the world, so you can understand them better. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye bye.